Hi everyone, Danielle here, back again today on November 2nd. It's a Saturday. I decided I wanted to do an accountability sort of WIP post to get all of my WIPs sort of out of their stash hiding places out in the open and decide if I am going to complete them or frog them or move on from them, give them away, etc. I will quickly start with what I'm wearing. I just recently finished this Recollection wrap by Tiffany Lynn. It is in the Recollect Sport base, and the colorway was actually a kit that I got at the Farmer's Daughter Fiber when I went there last year for the Big Sky Retreat in Montana, and it is the Candi's Choice. So I started it in Montana this year when I went back to the Big Sky Retreat because it was so much fun the first time, and also the Spin Cycle ladies were there, Kate and Rachel, and we dyed some roving, and we'll be getting that roving spun up at the Spin Cycle mill and then shipped to us. I think they said in like 12 weeks or something. So I'll be really excited to get that yarn in the future. So it'll be the dyed in the wool weight. It'll be the sport weight base. So anyway, if this gets warm, I might take it off, but I'll leave it on for now. So I will start with my oldest WIP that I can find. And that is the Stonecrop Cardi. And I'm going to be looking at my phone because I pulled up Ravelry to get the dates and some information. So I started it in April of 2020. And it was the Rhinebeck sweater that Andrea Mowry released for Rhinebeck that year. And I chose to do the Cardi version. This is actually the back, and then here's the front. So I have the steek panel in the middle, and it is actually sewn down. I use the sewing machine to sew down where you clip for the steek, and it is just missing the sleeves, just the sleeves. You're gonna notice that might be a theme, but I do love it. I love the colors. I love the yarn. I did make it longer than she suggested, which is typical for me. I don't super love cropped sweaters all the time. I like them with dresses and skirts. So if I'm gonna do a cropped, I usually don't crop a cardigan because I like the ability to, wear it open or wear it closed, buttoned up. So I did knit it longer, and it is knit with Brooklyn Tweed Peary, which is their sport base, in the color Driftwood. Look at the baubles. I mean, now that I have it out, I just need to finish it. It's really, really cute. It's been in hibernation for quite some time. I mean, it's been folded in a bin for a while. So you can even see the fold line. The Spin Cycle dyed in the wool color is Mississippi Marsala. Yeah, so it is just using these needles, which I could be using for something else, I'm sure, as a hold place. I laughed when I saw this. So this little progress keeper is from Shelly Can from Vogue Knitting Live 2020. There's a theme here. This is the 2020 sweater, maybe the pandemic sweater, I don't know, but I even have the yarn in a bag with it, so I think the thing to do is to get it finished. That would be great. I need to finish that. And since it's November of 2024, I recognize that it's not likely that it will get finished this year, but it may get finished hopefully soon. Sleeves don't take that long. Once you get started, they don't take that long. Oh, when I did my Rhinebeck recap well, it wasn't really a recap. It was a haul. I didn't do a recap. I forgot about this mug. And this is from Goldenearth Designs. And my lovely friend Laurie picked this up for me at Cake Palooza because I couldn't attend Cake Palooza and she did. And I love this mug and it's lovely peppermint tea. I have a little bit of a cold. I just traveled to New Orleans for a work conference and it was awesome. And I started getting sick the day we flew down there. So alas, trying to get over that. I did go to urgent care. I don't have flu or strep. And they said it was viral, so no antibiotics for me either. Okay, so let me just get the next WIP. So the next WIP is something that I started in October of 2020. And this is called the High-Low Sweater. And this is for my daughter. And it is sort of cropped. It has a high-low to it. As you can see, it's really wrinkly. It has a little bit of a turtleneck. And it's also on my Ravelry that I started it in October of 2020. Like I said, I am knitting it in Lion Brand Woolies and the color is forest green. I have the yarn. All it's missing is the second sleeve. So I really need to finish this sweater for her. She picked out the pattern and she picked out the color. She has gorgeous red hair and it's gonna look so great on her. And I think it will still fit her even though that was 4 years ago. She's in her early 20s, so she hasn't changed much in size. And so, yeah, that is WIP number 2. There is another WIP that I cannot find, so I will have to find that and eventually come clean with that. But the next WIP that I have is Metamorphic. So Metamorphic is an Andrew Mowry pattern, and I started this in March of 2022. So it is knit in this Prada de Lana yarn, which is a sheep farm in Western Mass, I'm pretty sure. It's a couple that owns the farm and has the wool milled somewhere. I don't know that actually. This color or this yarn is called La Benevolencia, and it's Addie and Hazel because I believe it's named after the sheep that they sheared for the wool. So this is a 2-ply DK, and I feel like it knits up more like a sport. And this pattern called for a sport base, so yeah, it's this barber pole, awesome color, and I knit it along with Spin Cycle dyed in the wool, and the color is called Rosy Maple. And again, you can see that it is missing sleeves. I definitely think it's pretty funny to pull all these out and see the common theme. I will say this, I knit the collar a little longer. I think that was called for in the pattern, both the neck collar and then the bottom ribbing. I'm not totally thrilled about it. I probably should have done a different bind off maybe. I think I did Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, would be my guess. And I think I could have done a tubular bind off. The wool is a little more rustic. Maybe that it is a true light DK and not a sport. Maybe I should have gone down a needle size. You know, all the things you learn as you knit longer. So yeah, I mean, it's great color. It feels beautiful. It's not scratchy at all. I contemplate redoing the collar, but I think what I would like to do is just finish the sleeves. Just finish the sleeves, Danielle. Finish the sleeves. And then decide about the collar. Yeah, I knit the size 4, maybe size 4. My bust is a 42, and so I tend to knit between the 3, 4, 5 in her patterns. It just depends on like how much positive ease is called for in the pattern. And I did buy this yarn at Rhinebeck in 2021, so I have had it for a while, and I really just need to finish it and stop casting on all the new things. But that's what I have a hard time with. I have a hard time not casting on all the new things. I have it in this project bag that I made by Klum House, and it is got the I can't think of the name of it right now. It's a waxed canvas and a wool. Oh my gosh, what's it called? Pennington wool. Oh, I'm saying the wrong thing. I don't have a project page for this because it's not a knitting project, but I was really pleased, happy. I don't know what the word is with this. I got a kit in the mail. So also in 2020, I was supposed to go on a knitting retreat on Bainbridge Island, and I think it was supposed to be in April or May of 2020, the retreat. And then, you know what happened? So the retreat was canceled, but I still got the kit in the mail because I had already paid for the kit to bring to the retreat. And yeah, so I think I maybe did it on vacation. It only took, you know, probably 2 days. I was on vacation from work, and you can order like online videos from Klum House, and it just goes step by step. You get all the pieces, the zippers, the rivets, the leather handles. It's a backpack, and it converts to like a shoulder bag. It's a really great bag. So if you're ever thinking that you might want to sew yourself a project bag, I highly recommend the Klum House kits. And then I think like they have Black Friday sales, and sometimes they have second sales. And then once you buy the pattern, you could get fabric really anywhere and make the bag again. You know, the leather handles and things like that are pretty specific. So I would say to get their accessories from the website. But yeah, I really enjoyed making it, and it was not that difficult. You know, I mean, as things go, if you've sewn before and you know how to follow the pattern, it was a lot of fun. I really like it. And obviously I'm using it as a knitting bag. So I don't know if you can hear my dog whining. I shut the door because I didn't want him coming in and out with his little nails tapping on the floor. And so now he's at the door whining because he wants to come in. Okay, so my next WIP, and I will be honest, I don't actually know if this is well, I know it's not my only sock WIP, but I wouldn't even call the other single socks that I made WIPs anymore because it's been so long that I don't know where the yarn, what pattern I used. I'm, I think, infamous for making onesies of socks. But these are the everyday sock, and I knit them in a shorty version and did like a little picot bind off. So they are knit with the Freya hand-painted yarns, and it's a sock set, so you get 2 balls, and so then the socks can be identical, which I think is really fun. And I got the yarn at Skein Yarn Shop, which I mentioned before, my friend Laurie, and I think they're knitting them on a size 1, but this is the other little ball. Because I did the shorty, you know, I'm not going to get to the orange and the yellow color, but that's okay. I prefer shorty socks. I actually don't love to wear socks or shoes as a rule in general. I like to wear sandals. So I think this would be really cute with my Birkenstocks. Oh, this is my little progress keeper from Black Pearl Magic. Love Shayla, love her bags. I have one of the big ass bags. I think I got her, I'm pretty sure I got her Advent kit this year. I'm super excited to get that. I did some Advent purchasing throughout the year, and so now that it's November, I'm like anxiously awaiting getting all of these Advent kits to come. I got a few. 4, I think, maybe 5. Maybe I'll do a mini Vlogmas. Like, I don't think I can commit to every day, but maybe do some Advent wrap-ups or mini vlogs in December. I think that would be fun. But yeah, so I have the second sock started. So I just have to finish it. And it's in this cute little bag that my friend from work got me. Little bees, it's really cute. Is that the problem? Is it the cute project bags that make my projects go in a bag and then disappear and get forgotten about because you see the next new shiny thing? Maybe, but it really is a cute little bag. So I think I could probably knit these in a few days. 2 days, 3 days, not very long. I just need to finish them. I don't super love sock knitting. I love to buy sock yarn. I love to buy sock patterns. I love to watch other people complete socks. I think it's the small needles. I have a little bit of neuropathy. I had neck surgery a few years ago, and so the really tiny needles really, yeah, they don't feel super great. And so my hands get tired after a while. Speaking of hands getting tired after a while, I heard about this book, and so I bought it. It's called Knitting Comfortably, and it's by Carson Demers. I think that's how you say his name. I haven't read it yet. I got it online at Wool and Honey, and I think I've read online from a few different sites that this is, you know, a really great book. And so it's called Knitting Comfortably, The Ergonomics of Hand Knitting. And I believe he's a physical therapist by trade, so, or by profession, wrong word maybe. But yeah, I think that I've been knitting now for 25 years. And I mentioned I have a little bit of neck issues. I had a spinal fusion back in 2018. So I have a little bit of neuropathy as a result of that condition that I have. And one of the best things that I think I did for myself was to continue knitting. And I think it kept me engaged and like using my fingers, even though I couldn't feel things as well. I didn't have the dexterity that I had prior to having all the issues I had with my neck, which the issues from my neck then like radiated down my left arm into my fingers. And then after the surgery, I had the same neuropathy, and it's like, I don't know, it's not tingling all the time, but they do tingle sometimes. And I just live with it, like as you do with things. But I think knitting has really kept my my hands moving, right? Like I think sometimes you just have to keep moving. So anyway, I got this book because it looked like it would be an interesting read and something so that I can continue to knit. you know, you notice, or I notice sometimes when I knit, I'm sitting in the strangest position and, you know, sitting for long periods of time. So, you know, I've heard from multiple places, and I know this to be true as well from working at a computer a lot, that, you know, you have to move, you have to change positions, you can't do the same thing without getting potential, you know, repetitive stress injury. So stretching before I knit, taking a break after an hour, trying not to ever knit through the pain. If you start to, you know, feel like you're having pain, then it's time to stop. So this isn't by no means medical advice. I'm just, you know, talking about things that I have heard and learned over my time. So that was just a quick sidetrack. Sorry about that. Okay. The next WIP that I have is the Love Letter tank. And I started this one in August of this year, and it's by Veronica Lindberg. Okay. So it's this lacy, adorable, it has baubles, tank, and I'm knitting the size 4, which is also a large. It's on 2.5, yeah, US 2.5 needle, and I'm using the Lion brand 24/7 cotton in the color Beech Nut, and it's really cute. I started it during the Olympics, and so this is, you know, a summer top, obviously, and I think as I started knitting my Rhinebeck sweater and other sweaters, and then it got colder, I sort of put it on the back burner. I want to make it longer than the pattern suggested to make the sweater, so I think I have to continue with this lace design for longer than she suggested, but it's really, really cute. I like the side seam. I don't know if you can see that. Like, it's this little lace design that you work up for the side seam. It's really cute. I absolutely love her YouTube videos, her vlog. She is a fantastic knitter, crocheter, designer. She wrote a book, which I do have, and then she has a second book coming out, or maybe it's already out. But yeah, this is the Love Letter tank, Love Letter top. I keep saying tank, Love Letter top by Veronica Lindberg. So that is here, and it's in another project bag. Harrisville yarns, love that. So that's the next WIP is the sheep camp, and I started that in August as well. And it's by Jennifer Berg. It is the sheep camp sweater. It is a little bit cropped, and it is missing sleeves. Again, it is missing sleeves. Sleeves are my kryptonite, apparently. And I have said that before. I do not love knitting on double pointed needles. I don't love knitting magic loop, but I think I've gotten better at it over the years. It never felt really comfortable, and I would get sort of that wide gapping happening with magic loop when I first started trying magic loop. It's better now. I really prefer to knit on, you know, the shorties or the small circular needles. So this is being knit in a US, I think it's a US 7. Yeah, pretty sure. Pretty sure it's a US 7. Knitting the size D. I think this is oversized for me. And it is going to be a cropped. I think it will look cute over high-waisted pants or probably dresses. I'm contemplating maybe leaving it short-sleeved. I haven't fully decided yet. I've seen some really cute versions of it short-sleeved, and then people will wear like a denim shirt underneath or a long sleeve shirt or like a mock neck. I'm not a big turtleneck fan. I don't like things like too close to my neck. I'm actually gonna take this off now. I'm getting a little warm. And I didn't say what I was making this with. Okay, so this is the main color is in Junction Fiber Mills Suffolk and Silk. The silk content, surprisingly, I think it's a little rougher on my hands than I expected. I love the yarn. I think it's coming out beautifully. I love the color. It's this like beautiful creamy gray color. And then the color change is the Junction Fiber Mill making tracks in their DK base, and the color is sea glass. So it's just a great color, great combination. I love it together, and this one should be pretty fast to finish, especially if I make it short sleeved. But I have, knit a few things in between, and so I think for me it was do I want to make it short sleeve or not, sort of committing to that and then deciding, and then having, making the Rhinebeck sweater and the shawl and other things in between. I just haven't gotten around to finishing it, but I do really, really enjoy the pattern. I highly recommend it. The color work doesn't take that long. It doesn't go beyond the sleeves, so it's like you finish the color work before you split for the sleeves. So I really like the pattern. So yeah, that's just needs to be finished. And then I have two more WIPs to show. I think I showed this one before, but it is the I actually don't even have a page for it on Ravelry. I try to be good about Ravelry, but sometimes when I start something spontaneously, I get excited and I get ahead of myself, and I apparently didn't start a project page on this, but I talked about it before. It's the Belt Creek Cowl by Candace English of the Farmer's Daughter Fibers, and it is knit in her Odang DK. And I am not sure how many more inches I need to go, but I'm really close to being finished. Actually, I have the pattern here. If I can find it quick, I will say. Yeah, when I was on the work trip, I did bring this with me because it's it's something you can walk and knit with. It's just in stockinette in the round. So this, yeah, I don't have that many more inches to go, and it will be finished. It's super soft, super comfortable. I prefer the fuzzy yarn in alpaca. Mohair makes me itchy, makes my nose and my eyes itch. So clearly I'm allergic, but I have used it before and I still will wear it. I just don't enjoy the process of knitting with it. As it fluffs off, it does make me itchy. So I have been avoiding it. Once I put the 2 and 2 together that I was sensitive to mohair, I stopped buying it. But I have to say I have quite a bit of mohair that I have purchased in my stash, and now that I know that I'm sensitive to it, I should probably destash it on Ravelry, is what I really should probably do. Maybe I will do that. It's hard to let it go though. Mohair takes dye so beautifully, as you guys probably already know and agree, and so it's hard to let it go, even though I know it's really not for me. Okay, and then I think I showed this before, but I will just show again, progress-wise, the Brume sweater by Andrea Mowry. It is also knit in the Farmer's Daughter Fibers Odang DK. I don't think I've made that much progress, but again, once I'm finished with the body, all that will be left is the, sleeves. which I'm so good at. So good at. But this is knit on a size US. I'm gonna guess it's a 5, but I can't see. US 6. US 6. I'm knitting the size 2. I think it's on a US 6. Again, by Andrea Mowry. No, maybe it's a 7. Maybe I knitted on the wrong needle. Oh, that's funny. Well, anyway, we'll determine what size needles it's on, and if it's on the correct ones or not after this. But it is working up pretty quickly, and I did start that. Let's see, I started it October 13th of this year. So I knit the neck and the rest of that part really fast. So now it's just a matter of finishing that. I had done a test knit in between for Caitlin Hunter. It actually comes out Monday, November 4th. It's called Barn Dance. I think I mentioned in my other videos that I don't know how to edit in YouTube or on this iPad. Actually, I'm filming on my iPad this time, and I'm hoping that I can learn how to edit. I think that would be great to learn, and it can't be that hard, and so I'm gonna give it a try. So I knit the Barn Dance, and if I can figure out how to edit, I will put a picture in. It is on my Instagram, which my Instagram is Wiseowlknitter _, all one word, Wiseowlknitter _ I maybe can figure out how to link that in YouTube, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so I had test knit, so I'm bouncing around in projects. I find that I tend to do that a little bit. I get tired of knitting either with the same yarn or in the same color or the same pattern, and so sometimes it's funny, I feel like I'll have so many WIPs going and then I'll finish them all really close together, and then I get sort of like decision fatigue of what to knit next. So if I just keep starting new projects, then I feel like I'll always have something. And like the cowl is good, it's small, it's portable, it's easy to take on the go. And then other things that are a little more complicated, I wouldn't necessarily, try to walk around and knit with, but yeah, I like to have the variety. So, take a drink. I guess the only competition is with myself. Okay, so there's one WIP that I can't find. It's a sweater by Tiff Nealon, and I know it's somewhere. It's definitely in a project bag somewhere. My issue with it, I feel like, if I remember, it's called Zoetic, and I got a kit from This Is Knit in Ireland. It's actually a gorgeous knitting store in Dublin, and when we went to Ireland in 2019, I dragged 6 of my family members, my husband and his mom and his siblings and my sister-in-law, to find it. So it's in, it's in this giant building with all these little businesses in Dublin, and so we couldn't find it at first, and I was like, well, it looks like it's here, it looks like it's on the map. It was actually pretty funny. But so I started following them on social media. I did buy yarn while I was there, only a few skeins. And so when Tiff Nealon released the Zoetic sweater, This Is Knit put together kits, gorgeous yarn, and I used the colorway Sir Davos, which I believe is a homage to Game of Thrones. But it was the Townhouse yarns, and it also has some Olan hand-dyed yarn, and then the Camarose Midnight Soul, rather than using the mohair, which I think Tiffany Lynn used in her pattern. They use the Minette sole, which is an alpaca. So that's when I started figuring out that I probably shouldn't be knitting with mohair. And I don't have a date that I started the project or a picture on my Ravelry. Naughty. But I would guess it was sometime in 2021 or 22 based on where it is in my project pages. So it does this awesome herringbone pattern on the cuffs, and I couldn't figure out the bind off. So I believe that's where I was at with that sweater. One full sleeve, down to the cuff, missing the bind off. And so I have that to find. My basement is where I store my yarn most of the time. I do have some yarn in our bedroom in a bin, but for the most part I have, you know, just those Rubbermaid type bins. Fortunately they're clear, Target specials. And so I keep all my yarn there, and I'm certain that the yarn is there. And now that I say that, I actually have another WIP that I might have over. I'm looking in the corner of my room. I think I do. I'll get up and see in a second if I have it. You'll not be surprised as to what stage that sweater is that I'm thinking of that's in a project bag in the corner of my room. But anyway, I'm futzing with something in my hand. So this is the gauge swatch for the test knit that I'm currently doing for Caitlin Hunter. And it is, I think I talked about this yarn on the last video, my Rhinebeck haul. So I wasn't sure if I was going to use it, but it's the American U yarn, worsted tweed in the color Seashell. And don't mind the cross cable. I was knitting the gauge swatch and crossed up my cables, which is pretty easy to do when you're first learning something, but it's a really cool gauge swatch. So the test knit is due sometime in December. It's an all over lace and cable pattern, really cool. So I am working on that, and I'm not going to show that because I don't think I'm supposed to. So I want to be a rule follower, but this is the yarn caked up, and yeah, it's a really cool color. So yeah, I wasn't sure if it was going to knit to the right gauge. It felt a little fine to me. It calls for a light DK. No, a heavy DK light worsted, I think is what the pattern called for. I did get gauge with this. I did swatch 4 total. So 4 total yarns I swatched for this test knit, and I decided to go with the one that I knit first, which sometimes that happens, right? This sweater is going to be called, what's it going to be called? Mozart. And like I said, it's due in December. So I started it October 27th, and yeah. So I'm going to quickly see if I can grab the one WIP that I remembered. Okay, got it. Okay, so this WIP is the Carlina Pullover. I purchased this from Harrisville Mill, from the mill store, or their store, when I had gone to Squam back in 2019, pretty sure. And my friend Brooke and I were planning on knitting them together, and I believe she finished hers, and I let her down, and I did not finish mine. And I started it, I just found the page in Ravelry, June 8th of 2019. So here we go. Well, you can see where I'm at and what's missing. Sleeves, sleeves again, sleeves. You know, sometimes I think if I didn't live in New England and I just knit everything short-sleeved, I would have a lot more finished projects. I clearly can state that with 100% certainty that that is a fact. That would be true. But yeah, this is the Carlina Pullover, knit in the same yarn that the store had the sample knit in the same yarn on the pattern. The pattern is by Whitney Hayward, and I am knitting it in Harrisville, Shetland, and the colors are sand and ebony. And yeah, I don't remember what size I'm knitting. Hopefully I circled the size on project, the pattern. Yeah, I feel like I've definitely gotten better in Ravelry the last few years about putting the size, the needle size, the gauge, the fit, you know, things that I've learned over time are important information to have in the future. Like future me is happy when I do those things. Yeah, so I think these are US 3s. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on a US 3. And so I am doing this one magic loop. And it doesn't seem to be too bad. But yeah, it was in a project bag in my room. JP Knit and Stitch. It was a cute little shop in Jamaica Plain in Mass. It was yarn and fabrics. I don't think she's open anymore. Well, I know that the physical store is closed. I think she did have an online shop for a while as well. I'm not sure if that's still in existence, but yeah, so the Carlina. I forgot about that one. So I believe that is it for my WIPs. That is a lot of WIPs. I actually don't even know how many, but let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 or 10. So that is my WIP video. Thanks for watching and commenting. I had a few comments on my Rhinebeck haul video, and that was really sweet and fun to read comments. And I found a new follower because she commented on my video and welcomed me to YouTube. So yeah, I think this was fun. I hope you enjoyed seeing all my WIPs, and hopefully you'll enjoy seeing my completed, finished objects soon. So maybe the next video that I post, I'll post some of my finished objects, and maybe some of them will be from this WIP pile. Who knows? I'm off from work the rest of today, Saturday. I'm off tomorrow and Monday. I took a long weekend off, and tomorrow is the New England Fiber Festival in Springfield, Massachusetts. So if I'm feeling better, I hope to go, and even if for a little while, I'd love to get some fiber and maybe some like knitting adjacent items. I don't probably need to buy any yarn. I was just at Rhinebeck and just bought a bunch of things, but I would like to go and just get around all the yarny goodness and pet the animals, and yeah, so maybe I'll do that tomorrow if I'm feeling better. And otherwise, I'm going to get to knitting on that test knit, and I don't know, maybe I'll change it up and finish a sleeve. Who knows? But thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.